I'm Priscilla Barrera with the Investing News Network, and here with me today is Alex Cheeseman, GM of Marketing at Altura Mining. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure, Priscilla. Great to be here.
All right, so we're here at the Lithium Supply and Markets Conference in Chile. How have you found 2019 so far in the lithium market? Has anything surprised you? Are you finding investor sentiment positive this year in the lithium space?
I think as a company, we're quite new to the market, started producing late last year and obviously ramping up this year. In terms of the market, everything seems to remain very positive. Everyone's very upbeat for the medium to long term. Some short-term challenges for everyone, but I think definitely from everything we've heard this morning and seen throughout the year, the long-term market and optics are very positive.
All right, and obviously Altura Mining is developing its project in Australia, which is a top producing country. What do you think are some of the advantages for the country going forward in terms of the expected demand, and what are some of the challenges?
I think within Australia, particularly the northwest Australia, where Altura is and some other lithium producers, we're obviously strategically located very close to Asia and our core customer base. So that puts us in a very positive position to compete globally. In terms of challenges, I think being in Australia, probably more so from an overall market awareness, and we're quite isolated. We have a very Australian-centric view on a global market, and it's our challenge will be learning and being part of that larger global push, whilst not just being fixated in our small part of the world, which we know well, but again, global market that we need to be part of.
All right, and looking in terms of battery manufacturing in the country, there's been a lot of talk this year about securing the supply chains and securing raw materials. Could Australia benefit from developing its battery manufacturing capacity?
I think from a supply chain and a pure logical point of view, it might make sense. From a business economics point of view, Altura can't see it being an overly viable option. For us, being part of a strong supply chain doesn't necessarily mean we need to all be in the same location. A very proven export and freight path from northwest of Australia into many markets. That'll be our focus definitely moving forward.
And do you think Australia could catch up with Asia in terms of battery manufacturing going forward?
I think Australia's not a strong manufacturing nation. We're miners and we're farmers. We're not strong, particularly in new manufacturing techniques that we don't currently have. So you never say never, but it'd be interesting to watch any development.
All right, and let's talk a little bit about Altura Mining. You declared commercial production earlier this year. How is the company positioning itself to benefit from this lithium demand that is expected, and what challenges do you face going forward?
I think Altura has done very well. We're very happy with our progress and where we sit at the moment. Obviously, commercial production declared in March. We had a record production month last month, and we're very close to full nameplate capacity out of our stage 1 operation. I suppose what's next for us would be any expansion. We do have a DFS completed for stage 2. The challenge for us and any other emerging or expanding producer will be to ensure that product is actually timed well with either additional conversion capacity or additional downstream processing. What we don't want to do is commit more capital and deliver more spodumene into a market that isn't ready for it. So timing will be the important thing for us and other players over the next sort of 12 to 24 months.
All right, and I guess one of the big news in the lithium space has been this investor negativity, if we can say it that way, which has hit stock prices for many lithium companies. What do you think needs to happen for that to change?
It's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer. I'm not sure if anyone does. But I think our focus is to just do our part as best we can, make sure that we're achieving our production costs and make sure that our product is on spec. We're seeing huge demand and appetite for the product. So we'll run our company as best we can. There are certain things in the broader market that we can't control, and I suppose it's a case of time. Time will tell how the market globally responds and lifts. But going back to the first question, there's such huge and growing demand over the next few years. I think it really is just a small soft period at the moment that we'll see lift in the very near future.
All right, and I also wanted to touch on something that happened actually this morning. We're talking a lot about price transparency. The LME finally chose fast markets for their new lithium contract. What are your thoughts on that? Will we see more price transparency going forward, and did the decision surprise you at all?
The decision wasn't something that we were sort of tracking quite closely. We knew something was happening, so a decision has been made, a business decision. We're very interested to see how it plays out. I think any increase in transparency can only be a good thing, not only for current producers, but that will also help, I believe that'll help emerging and junior producers. The financing investment that is needed across the industry is going to be a real challenge without the transparency. So to get that, to get a clear picture, let everyone have a reference point that is globally understood and accepted, in my mind is a very positive thing. So.
All right, and my last question for you today, Alex. What is next for Altura Mining? What can investors or what should they expect from the company this year?
I think back, as I mentioned before, our stage 2 expansion, we have a plan to deliver that, but it'll be time to offtake partners agreeing to it and also making sure that the delivery schedule works with their needs. For now, we'll continue to focus on moving towards nameplate production, nameplate capacity. Again, I expect that to be fairly soon in the next coming months. And we'll just focus on doing it, as I said, do our part as best we can, make sure we continue to deliver quality product to the market, and be actively engaged in any other activities that happen either within Western Australia or globally as part of the lithium supply.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure, thank you.
Once again, I'm Priscilla Barrera with the Investing News Network, and here with me today is Alex Cheeseman, GM of Marketing at Altura Mining.